First up, we're at this place, and can you guess what they sell? You're correct. Witches made of sand. Or... Anyway, we're actually going to be trying some viral sandwiches or viral TikTok sandwich places. So good, they named it twice. I'm going to be the judge of that. The judge of that. Let's go in. So, for a sandwich shop, I mean, look, the aesthetic is crazy. I didn't expect this from a sandwich shop, but I also expected more people in the morning anyway, so that was also a bit surprising. The fillings, as you can see in the counter, it was giving fresh. You know those deli sandwich shops that you go in, it feels homely. It was really cool to just see things like this because it's quite rare in London. Here's me ordering a sandwich as I live narrate this. I said narrate wrong. Anyway, House Classics, for someone who is plant-based, look at all the options, is a bloody falafel sandwich. So it's not obviously the greatest thing. You get selections of breads. I chose granary. Bloody hell. You can see I didn't really make any changes. $9.95 smackaroons for a sandwich with falafel in it, but... look at this, the screens. I put a thumbs up. It's not thumbs up, mate. Okay, so I'm outside now waiting for the food. Had to step outside because of the music. It's quite... Okay, it's not really like that, but you get the vibe. So overall, as you saw on the screen, I ended up paying $9.95 for a sandwich, which is obviously a bit steep, and it's more expensive than a Starbucks, for example, or a pret-a-manger, right? So it's going to be interesting to see if the hype and the quality lives up to the price. And I ended up getting granary bed.
What did that just mean?
Because health is wealth, or something like that. And I think I said bed. Maybe that's a sign that I want to go bed, but we'll cut back to when the sandwich is here. Let's go. So the goods have been delivered. When I unfold this bag, you guys will see how big it is. Look at that. And out of context, that sounds very dirty. But we'll reach into the bag. I'm getting the bag, as they say. And this, I mean, that already you can see is a hefty boy. Unwrap it. Don't want to make it fall though, just in case. You can't see it off camera. However, as you can see, ooh, that does look nice. That does look nice. Now, let's get into it. My issue with falafel sandwiches in general are they're either dry or they don't really have much flavor. Now, looking at this, obviously, I anticipate flavor. So let's get into it. As you can see, I'm a bit, how am I gonna attack this, right? If you can hear any noise in the background, the builders are doing building. Let's build this in my stomach, I guess.
Daddy, chill.
So the falafel is actually quite soft, which is a bit of a pet peeve of mine. However, it does taste a lot more flavoursome than the other ones. It's very fresh, the cucumber, the tomato. Go in for another. Okay. As usual in London, the pigeons have decided to join me in my food. Hello, hello. Hello.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now, the rating time. Again, apologies for any background noise. I'll give the service, first of all, we'll go with a 4 stars. Nothing too pushing the boat out, you know what I mean? But it was very nice. A very nice lady. So nothing over the top, but you could tell it was genuine. 4 stars. Price-wise, I'm gonna go like a 3 star because $9.95, and if you want to do the rounding up to 10, it's a lot of money for a sandwich. However, I will say it's the type of sandwich that you eat for like lunch at work or something, and then you're good for the rest of the day. So 3 stars, it just depends how you're feeling, right? If you're in the mood for a chunky boy. And then food. Food-wise, I'm tapping the table right now doing that. I'm gonna go 3.5 stars because it was nice, definitely more flavorful than other falafel sandwiches that I've had. And I know someone in the comments might mention that, you know, if I go to a traditional Mediterranean place, a falafel sandwich is gonna like blow my socks off. But for this place, it's a 3.5. It was nice, fresh, but nothing again that's blowing my socks off. And I got little ankle socks on, so it's gonna take a lot to blow them off, do you know what I mean? But I will also say, as someone who's plant-based, you know, the options are not, you know, there's not much there. If it came up on the menu portion, it's just like one option, the falafel, like there's no dessert, you know, you're gonna have to lick your fingers for dessert or something. So I would say there needs to be more in terms of people who do solely eat veggie. But other than that, yeah, 3.5. Would I come again? Probably not. But the option's there for all the office people here in Bank. But now, let's head over to future me with the other location. Next up, we're in the Clerkenwell/Holborn area, and we have got loaf. But, you know, branding wise, you can't see anything from the bag. I'm gonna pull it out, obviously, and not in that way, dirty individuals. But I just wanted to point out that if the camera will flip, please. I don't know if you can see, but like, I'm like surrounded-ish by crows. Hello, hello. So considering the bad omen that some people think crows are, this sandwich could kill me. I mean, so that's scary. Okay, so I was actually gonna mention the service a bit, but as you can see, no word of a lie, they've just, oh.
Good job, little buddy.
So this is the sandwich. Look, very big. Again, a lot of these viral sandwich places, for some reason, they're doing up big sandwiches. You can see the falafel is very much different to the first place we actually looked at. Now, I think I mentioned it during the first part, the first sandwich shop we went. What are these options? You know, I love me a good falafel when it's really good. And I got high hopes for this one because it is crispy. It's probably more on the, not traditional, but like more on that side of falafel being authentic, if that makes sense. Crispy, fluffy still on the inside. So we'll get into that and obviously see how good it is. But a lot of these places, just the sandwich options are a bit lacking, you know, and I understand it's not a all vegan place, but it just would be nice to have some other options, but I don't want to sound too much like a Karen. However, I will say they did have other options in terms of sides. You could get fries, you could have a green salad, or even a lentil soup. So being Turkish, we call that mercimek çorba. So it was interesting to see that they had that, but you know, £4.50. I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay that for what I presume would be a small pot of soup. Now, service-wise, it was a bit, you know, I'm not expecting to get blown away, do you know what I mean? But I do hope that as soon as I come into the place, like someone's there to greet me. Like the guy's there, and understandably he was sweeping, but there was another guy behind the counter. Maybe it's not his job to like serve, but you know, I was standing there a minute maybe, and look, again, I don't want to sound like a Karen, but it's not going to knock it too much. So service wise, you know, I'll say like a 3.5, because one guy was sweeping, the other guy seemed to be doing something. But you know, customer service, even just acknowledging me just off the bat, maybe, look, I don't want to go too much into it. 3.5. Price wise, the sandwich is £7.50, so it's cheaper than the first one. The first one, you did see how big it was though. I'm not really sure if you can see too much, but it's not as big as the first one. And apologies if there's noise in the background, but £7.50 again, it's up to you to decide if you want to pay that kind of thing. We're in like London-ish area, central, and I guess the selling point of loaf is the fact that it's brioche, right? It's brioche bun. So I don't know if that adds to any sort of value, but we're gonna now taste it. And again, with these, I just don't know how I'm going to attack it, because I'm just gonna get messy. So I just, you know, we'll see how this goes. I'm now going to... Okay. Yo, this beats that first place, and I'm gonna say by a mile. Okay, sure, you're getting more in that place, the first one, sandwich, but this is the type of falafel that I like. Okay, crispy, don't know if you can see, but still fluffy on the inside. The parsley gives it that Mediterranean feel, which I guess that's what I was looking for in the first place. Now, again, $7.50 is a lot, but dare I say, I would actually pay $7.50 for this again. But that's up to you to decide. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of other options if you are in the area, but this is it. This has beat the first one, I can't lie. I mean, so as you can see, I've really enjoyed myself. I've made a bit of a mess. I haven't finished yet, and that is... Maybe I should cut actually and wipe my chin, but we're probably gonna cut here altogether and then cut back so I can give like the final scores, because people are now looking at me as if I've done some... Oh, all over myself.
You naughty, naughty.
Right, what a camera angle this is, huh? But I thought it would be cool. You can see the gazebo behind me. Very nice sandwich, I can't lie. And other than the cookies that we've tried in the South African vegan bakery, nothing's really blown me away yet until this sandwich. This sandwich was very nice. I would give the food actually 4.5 stars. You could argue, where's the 5? I'm harsh. That's why 5. Maybe if it was bigger. I mean, that's just me being very selfish. And you know, goodness, what just fell? Oh, it's apparently I've stained myself. So I think that's the good sign that you've had good food. You stain yourself, you get interesting stains on you nevertheless. So overall, 4.5 for the food. Service, 3.5. It's not really a deal breaker, but you know, when the place is empty and you're the only one stood there, granted I had my headphones on, maybe they thought, okay, I'm just vibing in the corner or something. I wasn't actually in the corner, but you know, to the side. So maybe they thought I wasn't actually trying to order anything, so it's not the end of the world, you know what I mean? I'm not going to cry about it. Price, 3 as usual, because it's still a bit steep for a sandwich. However, I will say, if you're going to charge that much for a sandwich, unlike sandwich, you're going to make it taste banging. Do you know what I mean? Like, I got to go inside and, you know, I don't know where I'm going inside of, but that's how I ended up with all the mess. So overall, very nice. And to be honest, if you're going to have one option for the plant-based peeps, you've got to make it banging, and that's what this was. So shout out loaf. I was going to say I feel like a loaf now, but actually the sandwich is filling but refreshing and doesn't make you feel like, ugh, I'm now going to sit and actually become a loaf on my couch. So overall, I would recommend this place. If you're in and about the area, check it out. But make sure you avoid if you see massive queues, probably, because maybe waiting 40-ish minutes for a sandwich, you know, I don't think it's that good. And now we're on our way to the last sandwich shop. We're going to be going to Walthamstow, which I guess is East London, but at the same time not. Train in the background, so apologies for that. People looking at me weird again, but what can you do? You got to live life. I just wanted to open this camera right now, yeah, because I wanted to show you guys one of the stations that actually exist on this line. Now, we're on the overground, of course, and then I just wanted to show you just because it's funny. Funny is a loose term. Look, Turkey Street. Is that funny? I don't really think so. I will get back to you once we're at the destination. Okay, so I'm in Walthamstow, Wood Street area. I found the place, and if you guys remember,
What the f is going on in here on this day?
if you guys remember, I made like a witch joke at the beginning about sandwiches and all that. If you take a look here, this is where I'll be going. Editing H here, just wanted to chime in really quickly, give a little bit of backstory about Coven of Wiches virality, because compared to Loaf and Sandwich, it's not really viral on TikTok. However, as you can see, they've been mentioned in the Times newspaper, which for a sandwich shop is interesting to me, because I normally associate the Times newspaper with like finance, right? You know, rich people going, "Yeah, I'll have the Financial Times." That's a different newspaper. I'll have the Times, please. Shut up. It's also been recommended on Time Out. If you guys know of Time Out, it's a website you go and look at different cities' news, what's going on. It's good for traveling and stuff like that. But then also, to all my plant-based peeps, it's been recommended as one of the top restaurants, as you see, in East London, on Happy Cow. Shout out Happy Cow. I was a happy cow having that sandwich, but that might be spoilers. So basically, it's not as viral as the first two in terms of TikTok and social media, but I still wanted to include it because I think that's pretty cool for a small sandwich place to be recommended by a newspaper, website, etc., etc. And also selfishly, I wanted to go somewhere that didn't just serve falafel sandwiches. So, forgive me, all right? But now back to the place. So as you can imagine, they play on the witch stuff, which is interesting, and I made the joke, so technically I started it. There's a spider here. It's not real, of course. The menu is pretty interesting. They've got classics like Reuben. I don't know who Sabrina is, but the teenage witch. Don't really know what that's supposed to be, but as you can see, it's pretty decent. But I will say, as always with these sandwich places, the prices are steep. Huh? I mean, I am excited to try it, of course, but of course I might get this one, ice cream sandwich, just because I'm gonna treat myself, because I thought they opened at 10 o'clock, and unfortunately it's at 12. So I'm gonna wait around for like 2 hours. I don't really know what to do because I'm new to this area. I'm in some like market right now. I don't know if you can see, there's some kind of like Lego superhero thing here. Maybe if I flip the camera, that would be easier, show you a little bit of what I'm looking at. So yeah, there's a Lego blanket, I guess. Then there's actually a whole bunch of like music stuff. I don't know if they're vinyls, but I assume, I kind of don't want to open them just to be safe. Anyone know Tanya Tucker? I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. Don Williams. Don't know who that is. Country Sunshine. It is sunshiny today. I don't know any of these people. Oh, there is Dolly Parton. I know Dolly Parton. Anyone else that I would know? I don't think so. Nope, only Jolene. Straight from the heart. Yeah, I don't know any of these, but I mean, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, definitely come here to this market and check it out. Wood Street Indoor Market. But other than that, flip it back around. I don't know what to do, really. There's some shoes. Do you guys want to see the shoes? Killing time here, really. I'll probably include all of this in the edit. I know it's a sandwich video, but oh, look at those shoes. When the point is silver, that means you mean business. Oh, that's funky, huh? Anyone interested in these shoes? Let me know. It's not like I'm gonna sell it to you, is it? Bloody well am I on about, mate. Other than that, I keep saying other than that and I still talk. Let's go this way, see what there is. I don't know how much of this really I'll leave in the edit, but maybe in the sake of stat padding watch time, I'll probably leave it in. Oh, there's like a bites of delish. You can't see it, but it's kind of cute. Look at that. You mean a little to me. That's kind of backhanded. Some fries. Oh, I'm excited. You see that? Whoa. Have an excellent day. Homemade. Might check this place out after as well. But there's not much in here. I mean, that I'm really interested in. But what's on this side? Oh. Don't really know anymore. But yeah, I'll probably hang around and I'll catch you guys when it opens. Again, completely unrelated, but the eagle-eyed amongst you might be looking at this crib just lying here and thinking, what in tarnation? But I've already looked. There is nothing in there, but it's just scary AF. What is this place? So, I went back at 12. We see a vinyl player there, Ouija boards, a whole bunch of chocolates, which I ended up buying some anyway. A bat skeleton, I guess. So, you know, really playing into the whole witch, occult stuff. The place, very nice atmosphere. Look at drinks, some dog treats. The owner, as you see in the background there, very nice lady. I really enjoy the atmosphere here compared to others, but maybe I'm biased. Oh. So, I actually came back home. You see the... Woof! You can see the bag in the background. I also got a potato salad and some chocolates, but we're not looking at that. We're looking at the sandwich, okay? And it's dribbling all over the place because the journey is quite a long one. It's quite a ways, if that makes sense. It's not like you can just stumble across it whilst walking. If you know about it from online, then cool. But like, it's hidden away in that little market that we was looking at with all antique stuff and whatnot. So it's an interesting place to be. But immediately off the bat right now, I'm giving this service 5 stars because the woman who owns the place was extremely nice. This might be me being biased because I'm plant-based, but we had so much to talk about. Like, genuinely, it's very rare for me to speak to someone who is essentially a stranger, right? But for 20 minutes, we were speaking about all of our pet peeves, about plant-based stuff, and, you know, how her business runs, you know, is it good, is it bad, her plans for the future. And I saw that she used to work in a vegan restaurant called Mildred's here in the UK, which, by the way, Mildred, part of the TT, if you're watching this, shout out. And how she used to be there, her plans for the future and all that stuff. So I'm giving service 5 stars because it had that homely feel about it, like you were just visiting a friend's place, if that makes sense. Price, well, actually probably reserve the price until after I eat, because I'm really hungry, walking around for 2 hours waiting. But actually, she did end up opening earlier for me, so again, that adds to the 5 stars, because she didn't have to do that. I didn't mind waiting, so we'll get tuck in. I mean, I need to go get a plate after filming because I want to get stuck, you know what I mean? You can see everything, the sauerkraut. I ended up getting the Reuben sandwich just because it's a staple of theirs. Here we go. Oh my goodness. The pickle is a house pickle, but the way it's made, it's not too zingy, if that makes sense. It doesn't overpower anything. The sauerkraut is very nice, adds a bit of crunch alongside the pickle. Whatever this thing is, this meat, the pastrami that she makes, It's incredible. You get the chew as well from the rye sourdough bread. This is incredible. Again, I might be being biased here, but I'm just being honest. This is very nice. Food's a 5 for me because this one bite alone is a 5 for me. You can tell when a sandwich is a good sandwich. So price is interesting because it's £10, okay? And I've always been of the opinion that whilst you can get good food for cheap, of course, I don't mind paying a little bit extra for the smaller places if the food is good, and this is good. So, again, it's steep, right? The potato salad was £4, but it seems to be a hefty pot. 3.5. I might even push it to 4 if I'm being extra nice, but 3.5, which makes me reconsider some of the others. The first place we went to, Sandwich, you know, I'm actually going to put that down to 2.5. The price, 2.5, because whilst the sandwich was fresh, the falafel really wasn't falafel. Do you know what I mean? So you're paying $9.95, 5p more than this, and this completely washes it out the park with flavor. Why did I take so long to think of that? And washes out the park is crazy. That's just wrong. And then loaf, the second place, I might put that to 3.5 as well for the price, because the sandwich was nice and it was the cheapest out of the three. And I'm going with this for a 3.5 as well, just because it is that good. Trust me. If you're in the area, or if you're not and you're willing to travel, I definitely recommend this place. So overall, if we're doing a ranking, Coven of Wiches is at the top, because I don't want no witches coming after me. Do you know what I mean? Goodness. Then it's loaf, then it's sandwich, which is crazy, because we've actually ranked them in terms of like how much I would visit again, of course, but it's going down in size, if that makes sense. Loaf, well, Coven of Wiches is the smallest, then loaf is the second, and then sandwich is the biggest one. But for a plant-based person, for a vegan person, it's a letdown, really. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. I'm now going to hopefully really indulge myself with chocolates, potato salad, etc. I'll see you next time. Let me know of any other places you would like to visit, me to visit, or technically you visit as well, because we're going on the journey together. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.